Okay. Can you make $1 million in firewood? The answer is yes. In fact, it is simple. And I'm going to tell you how to do it. All you got to do is get $2 million and start a firewood business. And very, very quickly, especially if you sell at 180 a cord, you will have 1 million. Gotta love the classic joke, right? But yes, the answer is yes, you can. Absolutely, 100%. You can become a firewood millionaire. There's literally zero doubts about it. Like everything else I do, it seems, it's all about the math. As much as I hated math, I lied. I liked algebra for some reason. I liked that 2x plus 6 equals 12 stuff. I don't know why I liked that. But it is all just math. So yes, you can. And now the next question that some may have, I've already been asked. I know I just started making videos, but have had some comments, some messages on YouTube and all that. Am I a firewood millionaire? No. What is a firewood millionaire? I'm just going to throw it out there and say, to me, it is someone who has used their firewood business as the primary source of money to create a net worth of $1 million or more. Okay. Does it matter if I am or am not, which I am not, a firewood millionaire? It shouldn't. I am 110% convinced that I can help people become firewood millionaires. And that is not even what I started out doing. I started out building my own firewood business that I'm starting this year. I do have a somewhat of a history in the industry about 10 years ago, but I started out doing this for me. And then I realized I could help other people because I have a wealth of knowledge in several areas that I think nobody seems to be sharing in this industry. So it shouldn't matter to you. If you don't like what I say, then you don't have to listen. If you like it, I appreciate it. Listen. And if you agree with everything, great. If you don't, I'm not always right. If you don't, take the good and leave the bad. If you're like, oh, that was a good idea, but that sucked, then listen to the good idea and pretend you never heard the part that sucked. So hopefully that answers those questions. Let's move on to the fun stuff, the math, because it all is just math. It's just a bunch of numbers. That's it. That's all it is. It's kind of like the guy who taught me how to be a carpenter. I just learned how to be a carpenter starting in, it's already been probably 2017, 2018. Seemed like yesterday. I'm not a good carpenter. I'm decent. I like the rough framing more than I like trim work, but I've done it all. But I learned the best piece of advice I could ever get for carpentry from him. And He was a nice guy, funny guy, fun to hang out with. We had to unfortunately split ways. He worked for me a little bit on some properties I had, but the drinking was an issue. But anyway, but I learned from him. Basically, not how to be a carpenter necessarily. I did by watching him, and others. But I was scared. I was fearful that I basically took on a house remodel job by myself. An entire, gutted a house and remodeled it. And he told me 3 words that got me past any fears that I had at all. And that was, it's just wood. And although it seems simple, probably maybe somebody told him in the past, or, he maybe even said it in a joking manner. I don't know. But from that point on, I thought I could do anything. And I did. I mean, the house came out beautifully. Top end, high end, $10 million home. No, it was a house I bought for $500. I gutted the whole thing, remodeled it, and my family lived in it. But anyway, it's very similar to this. And as far as the $1 million goes, let's put it on the screen. Let's do the dollar sign here. I'm going to use this as a scratch pad and some other things. But, I love ChatGPT. There you go. Same thing. $1 million. Watch this. Now, what does it say? Not something as exciting. It says $1. Okay. Okay. Now it's $1 million. So what is it? What's $1 million? It's just zeros. Carpentry? It's just wood. Becoming a millionaire? It's just zeros. Start with $1. Just add a bunch of zeros. 0 is nothing until you got to think about it. It's actually not that much anymore, but I mean, still a nice number, still a nice amount to have, but not earth shattering. I think 10 million is the new 1 million from 30 years ago. All right, where are we at here? I'm trying to cross my list off here. Let's define a couple things. Let's define millionaire first. All right, so what is a millionaire? A millionaire is simply someone who owns $1 million or more of assets. Okay. What is an asset? I use Robert Kiyosaki's definition. If you don't know him or never heard of his very famous book that has probably made more wealthy people than any other book, is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And he defines an asset as anything, and this is simple, anything that puts money into your pocket. We also need to know the definition of liability. What is a liability? And it's not insurance. We're going to use Robert Kiyosaki's definition. What is a liability? anything, and you can probably guess that I spell liability wrong. Anything that takes money out of your pocket. The opposite of an asset. Okay? So let's go back up to asset. What's something that puts money into your pocket? A paycheck. Money from your business. Maybe you rent out a space in your shop to somebody else. So rental income, right? You have a nice building and you use most of it, but you rent out a little bay to somebody who does auto body. You get rental income. You see people renting their firewood processors on Facebook all the time, and that's mainly because they bought it and probably have to make the payments on it, and maybe they just rent it out so they can use it for personal use, and then it kind of pays for itself. But either way, you could have, there's other places who rent them out, and it puts money in your pocket. Hopefully, if you're got your numbers right. All right, so I think that's enough. Everybody understands that. Hopefully, what is a liability? The same opposite. Anything that takes money out of your pocket. Let's say you rent a house. So let's just say your rent payment. And you got to realize that your liability is someone else's asset. Think about that. If money comes out of your pocket, it's going into someone else's pocket. So your liability is their asset. And what you really want is their liability be your asset. Pro tip. All right. Rent payment, car payment, probably the worst one, the killer of wealth. That's what I call it, the killer of wealth. It's, I would say, the number one killer of wealth, at least in the early days. If you're 25 years old and you have a $1,000 truck payment and you're trying to make payments and run a firewood business and no money, and that is the number one killer of wealth, is a stupid payment on a vehicle until you can absolutely afford it. And if it's for your business and you use it for business purposes only, or at least, you can share the business expense with your personal expense, but that is the number one killer of wealth. For some reason, we got to have nice vehicles. I don't know what it is. We tie it to our success. I don't, but people do. For some reason, you see someone driving down the road in an F-350. I don't even know what they're called. I don't follow that stuff. King Ranch, Dura, whatever. I don't know. Not Duramax, but I don't know. What's the Silverado? High Country, $110,000 truck. That is the killer of wealth. You could do the same thing with a $65,000 truck. You can do the same thing with a $20,000 truck. So just keep that in mind. Those payments, those car payments, I don't know what it is, but that will absolutely kill your wealth. Not saying you can't have it, just maybe not now. Or again, if you're going to look at trucks, maybe you're like, you know what? I bought a truck. I bought one last year. It's a 2,500 Silverado Duramax. It is technically the second new truck I ever bought, because I bought one a few years back and then sold it and bought this one. But that was the first truck I bought. Must have been 40 years old. Must have been 40 or 41 years old when I bought it. It's the first new truck I ever bought. And it hurt. And I bought the base model, the first one was the base model, LT. It was LT or something. I don't need all that other junk. Heated seat, what do I need a heated seat for? That truck had more bells and whistles than any vehicle I ever had, and it was the base model. Backup cameras, hook my phone to it, engine brakes, power windows, no power seats. That one did not have power seats. I don't need power seats. What do I need a power seat for? Just sit in it. It doesn't move. I sit in it. It never changes. I don't grow and shrink on a daily basis. Why do I need a power seat? No, that one I think had a manual tailgate, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it didn't. I can't remember. And I sold it because I moved to Hawaii and couldn't take it with me. Wah. And then I recently bought another one in preparation to move back to the mainland. And I tried to buy the same exact one. I said, order the same one. I want the same exact one. No bells and whistles. All I care about is 4 doors and the diesel engine. And I literally don't care about anything else. And 4-wheel drive. And, they wanted to sell me one on the lot. And I originally said no. And then I said, you know what? It really was only $1,000 more or so. So I got that one. And this thing has a power seat, power driver's seat. I don't need it. It has all the same stuff as the other one, with the exception of the 4x4 package. I'm getting off in the weeds here, but my point is, why would you go and buy a $100,000 truck when you can get a beautiful, powerful, long-lasting truck for, I think I paid $67,000 for that one. Why would you get a $100,000, $110,000 truck? I don't get it. I won't even get into what I feel about side-by-sides, $30,000, $40,000 side-by-sides. I won't even get into that. Get a $10,000 side-by-side if you need a side-by-side. $20,000 snowmobile? Get a $5,000 snowmobile. The vehicles are the number one. I won't even say car. I'll just say vehicles in general. Motorcycles, my gosh, don't even get me started. I already am started. There's people out there, $20,000 Harley Davidson, $15,000, I don't even know what the snowmobile is these days. I saw one of them's quitting the snowmobile business. Was it Ski-Doo or something? I don't know. I don't keep up with that stuff. I haven't seen snow in 20 years. That's going to change very soon. But dirt bikes and trucks and boats. My gosh, the boats. See these kids driving around 20 years old with a Suburban and a freaking $100,000 ski boat. That stuff kills wealth creation. Absolutely kills it. It looks cool. It looks awesome. It's fun. Tons of fun. Your buddies and the girls and all that stuff is great. But it will kill your creation of wealth. You probably won't become a Firewood millionaire if you have a lot of that stuff. If you have that need for that fancy toy, you probably have zero chance. You just got to change your mindset. Just say, you know what? I don't need it. I don't need it. I'd rather create wealth and do whatever I want. Then you buy. It's hard to put it off. We are instant gratification people. It's hard to put that stuff off. but you have to. You don't need it. You want a nice motorcycle for $20,000? Don't get it. Buy a $5,000 motorcycle. You got a helmet on, nobody can see you. Doesn't matter. You want a boat, a nice $100,000 boat? Go buy a $20,000 boat. You're out in the middle of the lake. Who's going to see you? There's a couple people with you. They're still having fun. It don't close your eyes. You don't know what boat you're on. It doesn't matter. On the topic of trucks, this is how I feel on trucks, and this is all my opinion. This show is my opinion. This YouTube channel is my opinion. On the topic of trucks, and if you listen to my other video, I just recently bought some land, and that's one of the reasons. That is the reason I'm starting a firewood business, because that land, I won't allow it to not make money. I refuse. I'm not buying a piece of land just to say I have a piece of land. It has to create money. It has to pay for itself. And I think the same way about trucks. I didn't want to spend $67,000 on a truck. It hurt even more because the last one was basically the same truck, and it was 3-4 years ago, and it was $59,000, and now it's $67,000. That's painful to me. I'd like to throw up. So I, part rationalize it, right? I'm not perfect. I'll still try to rationalize something stupid, but it's easier to rationalize buying a $67,000 diesel truck, not a $100,000 diesel truck, a $67,000, when I know it can make money, right? All I got to do is go buy a dump trailer. I can make that truck payment with a dump trailer every month. Every month. Go buy a tractor, do tractor work. I can make it make money. And you got to buy the tractor and make sure it all makes money, but you get my point. There's a lot of people who are getting into dumpster businesses over the past 5 years or so. A lot of that stuff. Or at least you see it more. Because all the YouTube channels. Is there a dumpster millionaire? There's probably plenty of them. Probably easier. You start a dumpster business. You got a truck already. You can buy the roll-off dumpsters. A truck can make money. Very hard to make money with a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 boat. $20,000 motorcycle. $30,000 side by side. Those things I can't justify those things. I would have to have, for me to do it personally, it would have to be a drop in the bucket. Nothing. You wouldn't even notice the money out of your pocket. That's how much I would need personally to buy something like that. Hey, you want $5,000, 5, 10, 15,000? Okay. Better use the heck out of it, but not 30, 40,000, not a car. Anyway, got off on a tangent. I apologize, but I'm here to help people. And the more I do it, the more I want to. Vehicle payments, toys are killers of wealth. And don't just justify it like I did. Well, I can make some money. No, just be careful. Okay. Big liability. Rent payment, car payment. Rent payment, I'm going to put an asterisk next to. And hopefully I'll make a video if I remember. If anybody wants to hear it, remind me. Rent does take money from your pocket, but it can be a very good decision over buying a house. Because what is a house? And I'm using, I'm all about Robert Kiyosaki, the way he talks about it. Notice I didn't put it up here under asset. It's down here under liability. Oops. You say, what do you mean house is a liability? It's an asset. Kind of. It can go both ways, but In the beginning, at least, it's a freaking liability. When that mortgage payment that mortgage bill comes, or loan payment bill comes, it hurts because it's the biggest, probably your biggest one of the month. That's what, our housing is our biggest cost. But when you have a house, you got to pay your property taxes, your insurance, repairs, maintenance. Well, I'm sure there's people out there that do, but most people don't add that stuff up. Your furnace goes out, your heat pump, I call them heat pumps. I lived in the South most of my adult life. $10,000 to replace. Your roof needs replaced. You don't think about it when you buy the house. You're like, it needs a roof. Whoop-de-doo. I'll get some time out of it. I'll deal with it later. Okay, now you got a $15,000, $20,000 roof. Hot water heater, or rather a water heater. You wouldn't need to heat it if it was already hot. I had to buy one. Actually, I didn't buy it, but the person that lives in my current house bought it after the torrential rains in the South flooded the old one out. $2,000. That was the cheapest plumber we could find. $2,000 for a $700 water heater and an hour of work. Those home construction, home service are getting expensive. Those trades are getting expensive because they know they can get the money because there's nobody out there coming to take their place. Plumbers, roofers, HVAC, they can basically charge whatever they want. And good for them. Take it while you can get it. Anyway, house is a liability more than it is an asset. Be careful with that one. Don't think it's an asset. Don't, be careful. All right. Let's see. We got liabilities, rent payment, car payment. Groceries are a liability. Obviously, you need to eat. It takes money out of your pocket, and you have to you're best off using this definition. I can't do it. Don't just think, liability is something that comes with a payment. I got to go log in online and make a payment. That's a liability. Let's just add that. Credit cards. That is a liability and a scary one too. And very easy. Ask me how I know. To slow down your wealth creation with that. Can they be used smartly? Yes. Very easy to make a mistake, though. Very easy to slow your wealth creation down because that thing, you're making that payment every month, and when that interest kicks in, boy, that hurts. And the next thing you know, the balance doesn't go down. It does not go down. You make that minimum payment, balance stays the same, basically. Anyway, what else we got? Credit cards, house, car payment, anything that takes money out of your pocket. Okay? So we defined everything we need to define. I need a break, but I don't know how to pause this thing. All right. Now, where are we at? What do we want to do? We want to find out how much per month, per month, hard to see the computer because the microphone's in the way. Do I need to invest in the S&P 500? If you don't know what that is, it is the 500 largest companies on the S&P in the stock market. Stock market index. So just the largest. Think of the biggest companies and they're probably on it. There's also one for more like technology type businesses called the NASDAQ, if you've ever heard of that. NASDAQ 100. But we're just going to use this as an example. It's the kind of tried and true, whatever you want to call it, benchmark. How much per month do I need to invest in the S&P 500 to have 1 million? Question mark. That's all we need. We don't have to be fancy. All right, to reach 1 million, blah, blah, blah. Let's use 8% annual return. That is definitely conservative. So that's good, meaning that's kind of on the low end, right? You might be 9, 10, up to even maybe 12%, but every year's different, right? We all should know that. If not, that's okay. You just learned it. So 8% is good. We're not going to bother with that. All right, okay, so did I not even put 25 years? No, I forgot to add that. I was going to put 25 years in there, so that's fine. These are our, come on. I'm trying to highlight all of them. Whatever. There we go. These are our numbers. So, it didn't give me the one I wanted. I'm going to do 25 years. I want to use that number for this example. 30 is a lot. 20 is too little. 25 is a good number. So look, if you're 20 years old, you could be a millionaire by the time you're 50. Go ask some 50-year-olds if they would do it. Would they buy the truck, the boat, the motorcycle, the snowmobile, whatever? Would they buy that, or would they try to do this? Go ask a 50-year-old. If you're 30, I got to do the math. Go ask a 55-year-old. Doesn't seem right. It seemed like you should have been older. Go ask a 55-year-old if you're 30 years old. Find one that had all that stuff. Find one that has it now. Say, hey, what do you think I should do? Should I go buy this insert name of toy? Or should I focus on trying to, instead of making that monthly payment, because very few people are buying those things with cash. I would say 95% are buying it with a monthly payment. A $40,000 side-by-side that goes down the road, probably got a payment, and it's probably hefty. Just ask somebody. Say, hey, what do you think I should do? Learn from the people who make mistakes, who made mistakes. Learn from them. Learn from people who done things right. You can learn. I think you can learn more from people who did things wrong than you can from people that have done things right. But they're both valuable to learn from. Okay, let's calculate how much you need to invest per month to reach 1 million, 25 years. Where are we at? All right, to reach 1 million in 25 years with 8%. Approximately $970.87 per month. So we're going to say, well, let's just round it to 1,000. Okay, we're going to say 1,000. We're going to put $1,000 per month for 25 years. Every month. Sounds like a daunting ask. What do we need to do? All right. First, you got to figure out how much you need to live. All right. Let's just say how much does a U.S. Just put your own numbers in here. Use ChatGPT. It's free. You don't have to do anything. You literally. Why do they teach math? I don't even know why they would teach math anymore. How much does a U.S. family need? Put your own country in there if you're in a different country. How much does a U.S. family need? Let's do family of 4 need to live a low middle class life. Now, I don't want it to get too crazy. Here's why I'm putting low. Middle class life. Middle class, there is no middle class. If you've heard, they're disappearing. You're either going to be low or you're going to be high. One of the two. The middle class is disappearing. So we're going to say low, because if you're high, you're probably not watching this video. You better not be high while watching this video. That's a liability. You're getting high. That's a liability. Just a side note. All right. Low. I can crack myself up. All right. Low middle class life. And even if maybe you have a spouse that makes a decent amount, strive to be low middle class. Don't buy those things. You don't need $1 million house. You live in a freaking $200,000 house. That stuff doesn't make much of a difference. It does not make much of a difference in your quality of life. All right, annual estimate. Lower rent, basic health insurance, fewer childcare costs when we've got a high-end estimate, which, I would agree with these numbers. Just pick a number in the middle. Okay, it's basically 50 to 100, 60 to 100. That's 40 in the middle, 20, 60, 70, 80. Okay, we're going to use 80,000. Okay, so we're going to do 80,000. Okay, okay, so my family, I think, needs $80K per year. How much a month is that? And then add in the we're going to do the 1,000, add 1,000 to that for investment. If you're still watching this video, you're freaking awesome. You are. You're the person I want to talk to anyway. Honestly. If you're watching this video right now, congratulations. All right. I would have thought I died and went to heaven if I watched this video 10 years ago when I started my first business. I really would have. Nobody really talked about this. They do now a little bit, but not much. They all have like fancy YouTube videos that are made for views. I'm not making this for views. I'd like views, but I'm not making it for that. I'm making it to help people, and because I'm passionate about it, if you can't tell. All right. So we got 7,000. We got $6,666.67 per month for our 80,000 per year. Living expense. That's a pretty decent. There's a lot of areas that's actually pretty decent. And some are not. $80,000 a year where I live right now. It's tough. If you made $80,000 living in one of the highest cost places to live, at $1,000 for investments, so we're up to $7,666.67 per month total. Okay. All right, it's great. It gave us 92,000 a year, so that is our magical number. I'm just going to save that there. Okay. Okay, 92,000 a year. And I'm going to say you can do it for much less. I'm trying to be on the conservative side. High costs, as best as I can. Higher cost than it might be. I'm trying to be very conservative. All right. Now, let's figure out. Let's do this. I'm going to play with these numbers a little bit and see how much wood we need to sell. All right, I have some basic numbers already in here that are close enough. I'm definitely high on labor. So let's back that down, because I was going to do a different example, but let's back that down. This is just for processing firewood. This has nothing to do with delivery. Has nothing to do with going in the woods and cutting trees down. This is buying raw material, chopping it up, running it through a processor, and it's ready for sale. So keep that in mind. All right. So what do we need? We need to, I'm trying to think, because we're going to have an issue here with labor and who's doing the work, and can you do it all by yourself? Let's figure it out. Let's just go with this example here, but we're going to do 1,000 cords a year. Let's see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen. If I produce 1,000 cords per year and sell it for 300, we're going to keep that in there. Let's, whether or not you can or can't, you're not getting to $1 million selling $180 cords. You're definitely not. So let's just, go from the low end to the high end. You got like a $150 to $450, $450 range for a cord. Let's say just somewhere in the middle, $300. A little conservative, hopefully. All right, and I'm selling 1,000 in. Production cost is $207.90. This is an awesome calculator, guys. All right. 1,000 cords nets your business a whopping $92,000. Am I missing something? If I produce 1,000 cords a year, my cost to produce is $207.90. That's going to be pretty close, because no matter what I do, I'm always somewhere around 200, 220, somewhere in there. So that's accurate. Got a processor, got a $25,000 processor. Let's bump it up to 50,000. Okay. Let's bump it up to 600 for maintenance. 7 years we'll keep, and let's say it's worth 17,000 when you're done with it. And this, you could add in replacement cost for that if you wanted to. You could sock away money to buy a new processor. So in 7 years, let's make this easier just because for math. Let's say it's worth 20,000 when you're done. Well, you want to buy another $50,000, a new one. Well, you need $30,000 over that 7 years. Let's see if I can figure that out. So this is basically a savings account for your new processor. Savings. I said 30,000. No, I don't want this. I don't want that. I want to put it under other, so we can get a cost per cord. Savings of how am I doing this here? Let's pull up the calculator and say we need 30,000 at the end. Buy a new processor for $50,000. We have the 20 we sold the old one for, and we're going to buy a new one. We need 30, and we're going to do it over the course of 7 years. Whoops. We need 7 times 12 is what? Is that 84 or something? Okay, we need 84 months, so we're going to do, what did I say, 30,000. Frickin' A, come on. Get over here. 30,000 divided by 84 months equals $357 a month. And let me do some more math. That's over 12 months. I don't know why I just did that. All right, now $42.85. So that's $4,285 a year. We're doing it over the course of 1,000 cords. That's $4.28 a cord. So look, we can go up to 29, make everybody happy. Okay. So if you don't understand what I just did, we're going to buy a processor for 50 grand. We're going to spend 600 in annual maintenance. Hey, high, low, whatever. Just change. If it's going to be, if I'm crazy and it's 1,500, put 1,500 in there. It's not going to make a huge difference. It's going to last us 7 years. When we're done with it, we're going to take care of it. It's going to be worth 20 grand when we're done with it. Okay. So when we sell it, well, now we need a new one, but we only have 20 grand. We need 30 grand. Okay. So I just put that 30 grand in. So the whole time you're saving every cord you sell, you save $4.29 towards your next processor 7 years from now. Okay. So we're just adding it into the cost of a cord. Okay. Makes sense. Look, this is easy. It's all math. We have a tractor. We got a $10,000 tractor, and you could do the same thing for all these. You could do the same thing I just did for a tractor, for a dump trailer. You're saving for the next one. But so when it comes, you're not like, oh crap, I don't have 30 grand to go buy another processor. I can't sell mine because how am I going to get another one? You saved the money for it over time, on paper, for real, in the bank. All right. There's other ways, but you can do it. So that's what I did if you don't understand. And that's not bad. Actually, so now we changed you always got to remember to update this on the revenue calculator. So we got to swap this out. All right. 1,000 cords. This is crazy. If I produce 1,000 cords per year, my cost to produce 1 quart of firewood is $214.11. We got our raw material, which should be close. It should be close. Let's move it to 6. I don't care. 60, no. 6. Whoops. Okay, fine. It's more expensive. Fine, be conservative. Update this number. 226. What do you do? It's $12 difference. Okay, so now we're paying more money. And if that's not right, if you're in an area where it's $1,300 to get 6 cords, put $1,300 in there. And you can adjust. Say, you know what? My cords are expensive. My raw material is expensive. Fine. Maybe don't buy a $50,000 processor. Maybe buy a $40,000 processor. All right. And of course, you want to get really crazy. You can account for the increases in labor over time, but then you're increasing your retail price per cord, which is what people don't do. As your expenses go up, you must increase your price. You have no choice, because if you don't, you're losing money. All right. So we're at $226.93. This is a beautiful little business right here. Okay. Okay. I did update it. This is only 1,000 cords. That's not that bad. Well, I can't sell 1,000 cords. You can't? Everybody's selling out of wood. What do you mean you can't? Sold out of wood January. I'm seeing it every single day. Another person posts, ran out of wood. Raise your price, first of all. Second of all, if you're selling 500 cords a year and running out of wood, you can sell 1,000 cords. Anyway, so, all right. And you can do 1,000 cords. Let's see. Let's ask ChatGPT. How many cords do I need to produce per business day if I need 1,000 per year? All right. 3.8, so less than 4 cords. One person can do that. It's a lot of work. But hey, it's 260. You're getting Saturdays off. You're getting Sundays off. You're getting, I don't know if this accounted for holidays, but yeah. Make sure to give me off on federal U.S. holidays and 2 weeks vacation and 4 days of sick leave per year. Treat it like a real business. This is how you get your numbers right. All right. So now we're up to 4.24 cords a day. And you're working banker hours, at least they used to call them. 4 cords a day, 4.25 cords a day. You could do that by yourself with the right equipment and the right processes, good efficiency, blah, blah. And this is only producing firewood. This has nothing to do with delivery. And you should be making money on your deliveries. That is not a break-even business. That is a whole separate business to me. And you should be making a profit on that business as well. But for the sake of this argument, this is only making firewood. That's it. All right. So 4.5 cords a day. All right. So let's say you only want to do half that. Let's say you want to hire help. Okay. We have currently in here already accounted $45 a cord in labor. So if you have 2 people, it would cut that kind of in half. Not really. It doesn't really work that way. If one person can do a cord in an hour, that does not mean 2 people can do a cord in 30 minutes, or, in 30 minutes. It doesn't work. Life just doesn't work that way, unfortunately. I think they call that the law of diminishing returns. Is that what it's called? It sounds like a fancy word. What is law of diminishing returns as it pertains to labor and how many people? I think that's what you would call it. Yeah. So law of diminishing returns is an economic principle that states that as you continue to add more units of variable input, in this case labor, to a fixed input like land, equipment, or machinery, which is basically what we're doing, right? The additional output or productivity produced by each new unit of labor will eventually start to decrease. So here you go. I love ChatGPT, man. Let's say you have a firewood processing business and you have a firewood processor, your fixed input. Initially, when you hire the first few workers, they can greatly increase the amount of firewood processed because the machine can be fully utilized and workers can coordinate efficiently. However, as you hire more workers, they might end up getting in each other's way or have less to do, blah, 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 blah. Right? So if you have that example, firewood processor, and you have 2 guys, they're not both doing the same thing. Now, if you had 2 firewood processors and each guy runs his own, then you're good. But once you have a guy running a machine to keep it loaded, you're not getting double the efficiency. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, I'm glad I came up with that big word. I'm proud of myself when I think of those things. I'm not really good with big words, but where are we at? I get so far off in the weeds about things. I forget where okay. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, though, that we don't even have to. We got to blur that out. That was my surprise for everybody that I was working on. I'm on my email. Jeez. Can't stop this. I have to blur all that out somehow. All right. Just so you know, I'm going to throw this out there. Producing 1,000 cords a year. Okay, we're at $73,000 in the business's profit per year. And this is not you doing the work. Labor's accounted for. Right? Labor's accounted for. That means $45 a cord. You're paying somebody $45,000 a year to do the work. You literally At $1,000 quarts per year, for $300 retail price, you got to get that number. 1,000 quarts per year. You're doing zero labor. And you're making $73,000 a year. What was our number over here as far as our income needed? 90K? I can't remember. 80K, yeah. 92,000. We're doing 92. I can't remember what I said before, but we need 92,000. All right. So how do we get to 92,000? Some different ways we can do it. Let's go here and just say we do get that 6.5. I think we already saw that number, right? So 214.11. Boom. This calculator is freaking awesome. Your cost went down. Now you're at 85 if you can get that. All right, cool. Well, can I get 310 a quart? Oh, I don't even need 310. Can I get, where do we at? 92, what was 10? 309, 308, 307, 306, 306.50, 306.40, 306.30, 306.20. 306.10, 306.15, 14, 13. Ooh, 1. That's a magic number. I couldn't figure that out, but hey, 92 grand, $92,000. Somebody point out what I'm missing, please. Raw material cost, processor, chainsaw, tractor, a dump trailer, labor, gas, savings. Please. This is a full-time person. You mean to tell me you can't find a person to do this for 45 grand a year? I'm not saying that's the case. But you're also paying somebody else a full-time salary. You're giving them off every holiday. You give them off 2 weeks a year. And I think we gave 40 days of sick leave. This is a real business. You could even go real crazy. It adds a lot, but give them health insurance maybe. Figure it out. Add it in. Obviously, it has a lot to do with your location. Can you get $300 a cord? And my argument is you probably, if they're selling for 180, can you get 300? It's going to be tough. But people buy $500,000 vehicles and people sell it to them. And they sell $20,000 vehicles. I don't know if you can get one for 20, but 50,000, I don't know what the low end is. What's a Kia? You know what I mean? So you don't just say, oh, no, nobody will ever pay that. I can't get that in my area. How do you know? Have you tried? What does the product look like for the 180? Are people happy with it? Or is it just what you see on Facebook? Do you believe everything you see online? You know what I mean? They might post it on there for 180, but what are they charging for delivery? Are they making, they're probably not making $120 on delivery, but are they making 30 or 40 bucks a cord on delivery? These are the things you got to know. You got to look. And this calculator right here is one of the best things that has ever happened to the firewood industry. The second best thing that's going to happen to the firewood industry is what I'm going to release on May 2nd. Besides all the cool processors and splitters and all that. But as far as business goes, this will be the best. This is the best thing. This calculator is the best thing for the industry. I know it sounds cocky, but prove me wrong. All right. Where are we at? We're at $92,000. That's right. I forgot. Okay. Paying somebody else to do the labor. You can literally, your full-time job now at like this, if, I'm not, pay 2 people, whatever. Doesn't matter. Make this 50. Okay. Let's do it. Let's pay 2 people. Not because now you're doubling your, you're not doubling your efficiency, but you're getting there. So you're not paying, now they can do a cord in less time. It's not going to cut it in half unless you had 2 machines. That's different. That could cut it in half, but it'll work. It'll help. Let's do 50. Fine. Do 50. Here, 87,000. Fine. You could go up here. Let's get back to our 92. There you go. 311.1. 50. 47. 43. 42. What, 41? Where are we at? 38. This is how dumb I am. 2. 1. Oh, wow. I'm way off. 23. 21. This probably could have been easier. This seems like I'm making it harder than it is. 311.11. This is how to know your business's numbers to the penny. Are they going to work out perfectly? No. On paper, everything's beautiful, right? But this is how you get there. All right. So this is literally paying 2 people now. 2 people. Now you're not paying, they're only each getting maybe, they're each getting 25 a cord, right? So now they're only making 25. You got 2 people making 25,000 each now instead of instead of one person making, 45,000, right? So you got to account for that. So, can you find somebody that only wants to make $25,000 a year? You know what I mean? So you got to look at that too. Or you increase this, you increase this number of cords that you sell per year. 3 ways to make more money in business. Sell more. Get more customers to sell more too. And to save on your expenses. The best one, the easiest one is to save on expenses. I shouldn't say the best, I'll say the easiest. Because you can only save so much. You can only cut so many costs. But for every dollar you save in expenses, it goes right to this number. You save $1 on gas, 1,000 cords. If you can save $1, I'm not saying gas is the worst example, but if you can save $1 on gas per cord at 1,000, this becomes 93,000. I'll show you. And all you did was save. Okay? And gas is the worst example, but it's just the first one I saw. So that changes your number up here. Now you're at 93,000. That's the easiest way. Keep it in mind. But let's go back to because we want our 93, so 217.11. What did I? 219.11. Okay. So let's just change it. We get back to our $92,003 a cord. I hope you're following. Okay. Nope, it was because now I changed that. Where am I at here? 219? I gotta go, yeah. It was 219. Okay, we're at $92,000. You are not working in this business. Or you are, and you have a helper. And you're banging out 1,000 cords a year. Right? And you're selling them for $311. So let's, $315, whatever. I'm just trying to give that exact number so you can see how exact you can be. All right, so you need so this business right here. Right here. Can pay you an owner's draw. Do you want to rob your business blind? I don't know. That's not the point. Most people have 0 profit Not most people, meaning most people have zero left over, meaning they take all their profits as a business owner, which is fine. At least in here, we have our savings here for our new processor. So that's good. So where are we at? 92,000. So this business right here, I'm still looking to make sure I'm right. Is maybe either 2 employees or you and another employee, and you're doing the sales. You're not delivering. We're not even talking about delivery. Got to sell them still, right? And someday I'll talk about delivery. I got to get it done. I got so much to talk about. Let's say you're doing the sales. Let's say you are doing deliveries. We're not going to do the money, but let's just say you're busy doing deliveries. And you have somebody else while you're not there processing firewood. And when you're there not doing deliveries, you're also processing firewood. Let's just say that. Right? So you can still get part of this money. And you're at $92,000. So let's just say, for the sake of easy, you made $92,000 plus some. $92,000. Right? Now, I'm not talking about taxes right now and all that, but even at these numbers and taxes and all that, you can do this. Now, you take that $1,000 a month. I think we rounded it up to $1,000. Where did I put it? I don't even know where it is anymore. Take your $1,000 a month. You put it in the S&P, in the stock market, every single month for 25 years. Okay. And that just, nothing is exact. Okay. How are we shy? 993,000. Did it use a less percent? What did it use for our average? No, 8%. Where did I go wrong? I made an error somewhere. 1,000 per month. I thought I went high on that. All right. 1,000 a month total. It was at 970 per month for 25. Oh, okay. Yeah. So it was at 8% annual return. And this one used 7. Okay. So we want, no, it did use 8. Future value of a series. $25 years, 1,000 a month. What the heck? I don't know where the difference is, and I don't have my glasses on, but we're going to take this. I just want to see. Sorry, where is the difference? Oh, wait, I don't have to look. You're right to ask about the discrepancy. Let me clarify the confusion. Here's what's going on. Previous calculator trying to determine how much you need per month to reach 1 million 25 years. Okay, so it didn't know exactly what I meant. In the previous example, I had used $970.87 per month, but that would have been for a case where you already had $1 million in mind and were solving for the monthly contribution needed to accumulate that amount over 25 years from an initial investment. Yeah, okay, so it thought I had some money already. So, all right, whatever. So now we need to give 100, it's a $36-ish difference. Not a big deal. but it didn't know exactly. I wasn't clear enough, I guess. I did that again. So there you go. 25 years in the firewood business can make you a millionaire. It's literally as simple as that. And that's not ever doing over 1,000 cords. Maybe it takes you 3 or 4 years to get there. Right? So maybe you got to do 30 years in the firewood business to have $1 million. Sounds like a lot, but it goes by quick. Very quick. And we all know that if you could do 1,000, you can probably do 1,500. So you're probably actually going to do more than this. And if you can't get, let's say you can only get $225 a cord. Whoops. Yeah, $225 a cord. Now you're in trouble. Now you're in big trouble. Which is why you can't sell firewood for cheap. The whole point of me making this calculator. So we had 311. Look at the difference. One of them, you're a millionaire. 311, 11. In this example, you're a millionaire in 25 years. Or 30, whatever. And selling at 225? Wish. You're a 5,890 air. This is nothing. Now, look, if you really can't get 225 a cord in your area, then you're in a business that can't do this without really doing volume. It's a big, big difference between those. Huge. One, you can become a millionaire. The 225, you have to sell. I thought it was going to be way more. Was it 9,000? No, I'm way off. Holy crap. 16? 15.5. This is what I do with my life. 15.6. 15.7. 15.650. 15.40. 30. 15. Whoops. What the hell? 15.30. What am I at? What am I doing? 15.530. I don't even know what I did. 15.60. I was close. What happened? What did I do? 70? Or was it 6? 610? Yeah. 611? 11? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No way. 20? Oh. I can make things easier, I know. And I'm still waking up. So at $225 a cord, you have to sell 15,620 cords. 15,000. 15,620. I'm writing it down. At 225. There's some people that say I'll never get 225 for firewood. Because there's a pricing epidemic in firewood. People don't know what to sell firewood for because people don't know what it costs to make it. And not everybody's getting free firewood from tree services, and it's just not happening. There's no way. It takes time and it takes money to get the raw material. But anyway, so the difference between having a business that sells $225 a cord and the business that sells it for $311, not even $100 more, is literally 14,620. That's how big of a difference it makes getting your pricing right. Literally. That's not even $100. That's not a huge jump. I understand areas are different. You got to get the most you can get, is the bottom line. But that's the difference. A business doing 1,000 chords a year can 25 years to $1 million. A millionaire, not $1 million, a millionaire. And the business selling it for $225 has to sell 15 times that, more than 15 times. No, 1,000 chords is pretty easily doable. 15,000 chords is not happening with two people. You would need 15 people probably. Hopefully I'm doing that right. Maybe more. You can see how important it is to get your pricing right. And you know what? If you can't get 311 per chord in your area, go up here, figure it out. Figure out how to get to that 92,000. It's like a magic number. You can do your own numbers though. Go in here and say, I don't know, what is he talking about? I don't need, my family does not need whatever we put. $80,000 a year. We can do this off 50, which you can. I still think you can do that. I know for a fact you can live off 50,000 a year. I know for a fact. You might not like it. Your significant other might not like it, but you can do it. Huge. What a huge realization. Even to me, you can tell as I do this, as I put these numbers in here that I've never done before. I literally have never done this. That I'm surprised. I'm like, wait a second. You mean to tell me if I sell a chord for $311.11, 1,000 chords a year, which is not a lot, I could be a millionaire in 25 years? I could make 92 grand a year to do nothing. Or at least, you got to sell it, whatever. But, everybody out there says it sells itself. I run out. It can't be that hard to sell 1,000 chords. Maybe it's a little harder because your price is higher. So maybe you have to be a salesperson. You got to become a salesperson. Who cares? You're making 92 grand a year plus the labor. Do I still have the labor in there? Yeah, I still got $50 a chord in labor. So you're making half that. So you're still making $25,000 on top of your 92. You can look at it like you're making 6 figures a year here. And you got a nice processor. You got a $50,000 processor. You have a dump trailer, a saw, a tractor, labor. And you're saving for your next huge piece of equipment. That's insane. What was the point of this video? Can you be a firewood millionaire? If you look at this and say, no, it's impossible, go back to the beginning of the video and start over. Look, throw this in there. Let's do this. Let's go back to 6 so we have a little bit higher cost for material. And you could say, I'll never get it for $1,000. Fine. $1,400. But I got it. Maybe I'm off here and you put 7. Maybe you get 7.67. If you're familiar with that number, I explained it in, I think, the first video. All right. You got higher expense, obviously. But maybe that's the case. Put it down here. That's a huge jump. That hurts. Right? Still pretty freaking decent though. But you know what? If you got higher raw materials, you're probably getting $400 a chord. Now look. You don't have to. You know what I'm doing. Where's my 92,000? Oh, maybe I'm not that bright. 3. All right, so we got 339.5. 6, 7, 8, 78, 79 I'm at. 79. I don't know what I was doing. All right, so there you go. 339.79. There's people selling this stuff for $400, $450 a cord. You mean to tell me you can't make money selling firewood? You can't become a millionaire in firewood? You can't be a firewood millionaire? If you still think that, go back to the beginning of the video. If you live in an area where you have tried seriously to get more than $180 for a cord, right? So let's just do that real quick. Let's get me all depressed here. 1,000. Let's go back to that, because if you live in an area where $180 cord, the wood's cheap. Maybe it's cheaper than this. Hey, maybe you can't do this processor. Maybe you can only spend $25. It doesn't make a huge difference, so it really doesn't matter. Let's go back here to $40 a cord. You're in a lower cost living area. You don't have to pay as high. It's whatever. Okay. Maybe this can be chopped in half a little bit, $2, because you're not buying the 50, you're doing the 25. Okay. And maybe it's a little less here. Maybe it's a little more in usage, in lifespan. Maybe you really take care of your stuff. You can see how you can play with the numbers. This is the point of this whole calculator. Okay, so now you're at 215 and you're at, you can't do it for 180, right? You just can't. I don't even know how anybody's doing it for 180. Get rid of the labor. It's the only way you're doing it for 180 is free labor. And look, if you get free wood, and you can do 1,000 cords a year of free wood, nothing's free. But hey, I mean, I guess it could be free if they're dropping it off and it's totally 100% free, and they can supply you with 1,000 cords. You have an argument. Okay, so free labor, you can do it, and then you're only, that's the thing, is people are not charging for their time. They're not charging for their labor. Period. So you can be a firewood millionaire. And the crazy part is it's actually easier than that. I'll leave that for another video. It is, I shouldn't say way easier than that, but it's quite a bit easier than that. There's way better ways to wealth than the S&P 500. That's the lazy man's way to wealth. That's set it and forget it way to wealth. That's pretty much like, it's a pretty sure thing, but it's going to take you 25 years. And $1 million in 25 years is not the same $1 million, although you will, as time goes over, your costs go up and your price has to go up. Your price has to go up as those costs increase, as your fuel increases. When an entry-level processor doesn't cost $25,000, it costs $35,000. You got to account for all that. This is 1 hour and 26 minutes, huh? Approximately, video. I hope I got everything in there, but again, if you're watching this video right now, it tells me, 1, you're probably going to be successful in business no matter what. And 2, you believe it. You believe that you can do it. And I've proven it. I've proven it with math. And you can screw around with those numbers all you want. Everybody's different. The number you can't really play with is that raw material cost, though. That's the hard one. And the labor. There's not much give in those. These other things don't even matter. They're insignificant. 43 cents a cord, $1.15 a cord, $1.50 a cord, $1.11 a cord for a freaking nice, a $25,000 machine. They don't matter. They don't matter as much, that raw material and that labor, which I deleted the labor, but it's the second highest cost. Raw material is 90%. I think I did what I did the other day. 40. Wasn't 90, but it was, I think maybe it was like between the raw materials and the labors, it was like 90% of your cost or whatever it was. I can't remember. Anyway, use this calculator. just like I do. Use ChatGPT, pull it up, do the same thing. Don't be stuck in this freaking, can't make money in firewood. Maybe you can, but have you tried? Have you actually tried to sell it for more than everybody else is selling it for? Or have you not? Almost got into another video. I got to get into that one too. I have so many videos to go over. Go in here and say, you know what? I don't need freaking $80,000 a year. My family can do this off 40. I think I already talked about that. I'm single. I'm staying single. I'm not having a family. I can do it off $20,000 a year. You know, I live on a piece of land in an RV. I have almost no monthly expense. I have very little monthly expenses. It can be done.